Hey, everybody, and welcome to Comics Academy. I'm Jake West, and I'll be your host. Today we're going to be looking at a very interesting fantasy book, Songs for the Dead, a D&D inspired tale with all the laughs of a well-told campaign. D&D nerds are going to love this book, and fans of fantasy will still be able to enjoy the adorable puns. The story starts off where any good campaign should, the town notice board. A mysterious traveler takes all of the postings from the board to the chagrin of the other adventurers. You think this adventurer is someone who is aloof and enigmatic, and then she ruins it with a pun, which is great. I really enjoyed the storytelling in this book between the humor, the dramatic moments, feats of heroism, and the brutal violence. You have everything you need to make a really distinctive high fantasy comic. In some ways, it does remind me a lot of Vagrant Queens by Image Comics. By no means a bad thing. I also very much enjoy that comic and will probably do a review of it sometime in the future. For the first volume, the main two party members are Bethany and Llyne. I really enjoyed the development of their relationship throughout this book. Their first adventure begins with them becoming uneasy allies as they try to take down a tyrannical lord with a bounty on his head, which is very Dungeons and Dragons. I love that. This is also where we find out that Bethany, a sweet, charming dork, is also a necromancer, and a quite powerful one at that, as she can raise a small militia of undead if she has the resources. Llyne, on the other hand, is a hot-headed, sword-swinging mercenary who gets drunk at every opportunity. Caden Kalian be praised. Oh, and she heckles her opponents all the time, which I love, and she's rather good at it. Then we have Emery, a recently murdered boy raised by Bethany to find out who killed him. You can tell Bethany is different from a lot of necromancers. She raises Emery to help him be laid to rest, not to make him her undead servant. She does use that ability in combat, but usually A, those people were trying to kill her, and B, she lays them to rest pretty much immediately after they're out of the fight. Also, she has adorable undead woodland pets, and she is one hell of a bard. Bethany and Llyne are on a quest to find the secretive coven of necromancers. She wants to change their ideas on the use of necromancy and to prove her magic is not an instrument of evil, but rather one for good. They're also being pursued by the Will. Tristan's Will, a heretical religious organization with a necromancer in their employ that wants to kill Bethany. The book is on point with its writing, especially with its dramatic tension and hilarious dialogue. It has great pacing and there's never a dull moment, and it goes gracefully from funny to sad to horrifying and then straight back to the action without skipping a beat. I also love how much history was put into the world building. Having Bethany be a bard who is a history nerd is great, but it also helps flesh out the world a lot as well. The art in particular kind of blew me away. Every scene is rendered in loving detail. The colors are very good at evoking a particular mood. For example, they are rich and vibrant when it's a idyllic summer day, but it can easily set a darker tone when presented with a setting like a town taken over by religious zealots. I also really like the character design and the fact that the characters are always drawn carrying their weapons and gear, which is really cool. The action in particular was drawn well, and it felt like watching the fight almost happen in real time from panel to panel, only to pause when appropriate for some witty dialogue or a dramatic moment. I really love this book, and I am looking forward to the second volume coming out. The first volume ends on one hell of a cliffhanger, so you really want to know what happens next. Also, did you know that you can find 5 free comics for download at this link in the description below? You can get the most excellent Wasted Space, which I did a written review for on Instagram along with its Christmas issue, as well as the fantastic Submerged, Deep Roots, and Vagrant Queen. So go download those and get to reading. Also, they are doing a pretty awesome contest for their upcoming release Bonding. Go to the link below for all the rules, but the long and short of it is you can get a preview of Bonding number 0 if you go to the link. You can download a template for those gross but cute parasites that are featured in the comic. And with those templates, you can create your own horrifying or kawaii parasite. And if you submit them, also in the link below, you can have a chance to have your parasites featured in the comic. The submission period ends September 13th, 2019. Full disclosure, I am on Vault's reviewer list and I do receive digital advance copies, but also I approach them because I really like their books and I genuinely think they're worth your time and money. Speaking of giving them money, go support Llyne and Joe Corello by pre-ordering She Said Destroy. Pre-ordering is always the best way to help creators and support your local comic book store. Thank you for joining me again for another episode of Comics Academy. We do sign giveaways every Saturday, and check out Twitter and Instagram for those. My handle is Comics Academy X on both. If you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can automatically be eligible for each giveaway unless the rules specify otherwise. Also, check out our Comic Creators Club live show with my host, Melissa White. She is a wonderful person, and so are all the amazing guests we have had on the show, like Charlie Stickney, Newton Lillavois, Christian Carnouche, and so many others that I want to thank for being on the show, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there to help us and to help everyone learn about comics and learn about what really makes this medium of ours really special.